Peace, Baba Kilindi here. Hope everyone's doing well. Moving into the end of the year, not actually, but just for the sake of informational uh, structures, we're moving to the end of the year. Um, like to let everybody know that we're coming into a very uh, energetic and powerful period. We have to move forward into this next cycle with a intent to really break out of this thing. Um, it takes a saturation point or a saturation uh, level to break out. What cuts the simulation down, what breaks us out is enough people thinking and understanding and moving under the same mindset and same understanding. That being that, first of all, folks realizing that we're in a simulation. Second of all, being able to understand that the AI or the artificial intelligence controlling this matrix as we see it is a something that's actionable. In other words, we can move a action of energy of consciousness towards it and through it and on top of it to be able to move it, shutting it down. In the Mahabharata, when Arjuna went out to the war planet to get the transdimensional weapons, that was an actual place. We've placed maps in the, of course, transdimensional crystals that we talked about for the whole last of 2017, and the Yiming Zoo crystals that we've been talking about for the last part of 2017. Um, they have the maps for you to get your weapons, to be able to have the weapons that will deal with transdimensional battle. Now, I know everybody's not a warrior, but we need folks who are thinkers also. Not that thinkers aren't warriors, but we need people to provide strategy for people to be able to create algorithms in another space and time to be able to flood the minds of the people that are here, that are real people, because, of course, most of the folks that we see as people, most of the folks that we see as um, humans or real, aren't real. They're just fluff. They're just, um, as I said before, like the woman in red in the Matrix, it's just there for variety, not that it's a real person. Turns the corner, it's gone. So we need people who are conscious, people who have a vision for themselves and those family members that are real, because a lot of your family members aren't real either. They're just fluff also. Your cousins and some nieces and nephews, and some of you, maybe even your mother and father, were fluff to get you in a position to be able to realize where we are right now and move into and through the mystery into the unimaginable. So we're looking at this year creating the energy to break free of this particular simulation. And it's difficult for one person to do it. I don't say anything's impossible, but you need a gang of folks who are thinking in the same direction to be able to create a energy field of where it will get the attention of the AI. It already knows what it's doing. It already knows what you're doing. So there's no escaping this. That's why they're bringing in the 5G, which is the fifth generation Internet of Things that will monitor everything and continuously feed all information into the artificial intelligence so that it stays a step ahead. So I think we have one last year to get in and then get out. That means that we're going to have to be utilizing our power plants and fungi to be able to access these realms in real time. We don't have time to be trying to convince people that DMT is not a drug like Xanax or a drug like others, but it's actual true magic and the way that we access the hyperdimensional, transdimensional, extra-dimensional realms of existence and multiple realities. It's the way that we do it. It's the way that we've always done it. You know, you can't yogic breathe your way into it. You can't pour libations into it. Those are things that are part of the plenum of information, but they're not sufficient alone. If you're pouring libations, it's got to be when you're taking 15 grams of mushrooms. If you're going to do your yogic breathing, it has to be when you're taking 15 grams of mushroom. And that will give you access to your magic and your power and your understanding, because you're going to have access into multiple realities, and realities that aren't three-dimensional, five-sense realities, but multiple realities going into the exoplanets and exogalaxies and multiple universes, these type of things that aren't looked upon by regular people and regular areas of knowledge because they don't have access. Now, the Department of Defense and the NSA and all that, they have people whom they have groomed to go into these places and spaces. And that's reality. They're going in trying to find weapons. They're going in trying to getting algorithms and codes to be able to bring back, to be able to stay ahead of their own AI, of which they created, that's loose now, because artificial intelligence is loose. It's in the internet, it's in the cloud, and in the coming year, in the coming next few years, it will infuse itself into everything. Your toaster will be part of the artificial intelligence. Your wristwatch, the pack of bananas you get from the store will all be part of the artificial intelligence that's out and controlling and has escaped into the internet and into the cloud. And pretty soon, as I said, it'll be in everything. If everything is code and information, because I know you all, many of you have this whole love thing, that love is everything. No, love is not everything. It's part of it. Nothing is everything. It's part of it. And you believe in, the universe is love and all of that kind of stuff. That came from Blavatsky in the early part of the 19th century, 20th century, with Annie Besant and the rest of those theosophical people, and the Rosicrucians and other people like that, who brought those things in to hijack a true movement of spirituality that was coming out of the older cultures. So it's time for us to understand that we have to get real with this, because what we're in now is not like what we were in even 10 years ago or 15 years ago. It's not the same world. It's not the same thing. You're not going to be doing the same things. You're not going to be looking at the same things. You're not going to be in the same way of thinking and thought. All of the things that were from the past that you believed to be what life is and what the human is no longer valid. And I know people aren't understanding what I'm talking about, or understanding what the field of information is, the new field of information, because why? Because people are talking like we're in the same world. They're talking about, well, I mean, what happens when we lose our jobs, or how am I going to pay for my child's college? And I'm going to put money into my child's college fund. If you got a child that's being born now, or grandchildren being born now, they're not going to college. There won't be any college. There won't be any jobs. There'll be a leisure class, and then there'll be food. The leisure class will be people who have access to the information, that have access to the thing that's being brought into existence now, cryptocurrencies. They have their Bitcoins and Ethereum and Sia coin and Litecoin and all that kind of stuff, because that's where the currency is moving to. It's part of the Internet of Things. Paper currency won't be anymore. You'll go into the store, pick up what you want and walk out, because everything will be hooked to the artificial intelligence, and payments will be automatic. So all you people who are tellers and things like that, being nasty with people, at McDonald's or at Walmart, your jobs are gone. The truck driving jobs are gone because all the trucks are going to be moving with the 5G. That's what they've been waiting for. 5G is fast enough, powerful enough for all the cars on Earth to be without human intervention in them and miss each other and not get in the wreck unless the artificial intelligence want to bump you off and run you into a tree because it will have that power because it will be controlling the car that you're riding in. They'll bring up the convenience of not owning a car because most of the time your car's in the driveway, you're not using it, it's parked. So it will be a time when cars are just in the area and cars will own themselves. They'll make their own money. They'll do their own maintenance. They'll put their own gas or electricity in themselves, and they'll be in your neighborhood floating around waiting for you to call them. And you call Bob the car. Bob the car will come within 3 or 4 minutes of the time that you say and take you where you have to go. Then Bob will go off and make some more money. But the artificial intelligence, if you are a dissenter, it doesn't have to be like in the old days. We send the CIA to bump you off and nothing like that. No. We just lock you in your car and ride off the side of a cliff. And that's all the artificial intelligence, not any intervention from a human being. The artificial intelligence will decide whether you're going to be here or not. What if they want to bump you off in your house? Because you're going to have smart valves on your furnace, smart pilots controlled by the AI. What if the pilot, the artificial intelligence turns your pilot off in the middle of the night, turns the gas valve open, pumps gas into your basement for 15 minutes, then turn the pilot light on? I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do, because if you're still here, you're going to have some purpose. But if they want to bump you off, the AI can do it. So I'm not talking fantasy. I'm not talking about things that are coming in the future, 20 years from now and all that kind of stuff. No, the artificial intelligence is alive. It's in our world, and it will be controlling all things. You'll have clothing hooked to the artificial intelligence. If you want to get micropayments or nano payments for advertisement of a particular company, Amazon or Shell Oil or whatever, your clothing will be advertisement. It'll be running across like Eat at Joe's or Eat at Bob's. So the only way to get up on this thing and ahead of this thing at this late stage of the game is to get into your hallucinogens, your power plants, and move the human consciousness into escape mode. Meaning that when I say escape mode, what I mean is being able to have the consciousness and the quickness or speed of consciousness to be able to deal with something that now is moving 1 billion times faster than you can think. This thing is running simulations upon simulations. The world simulation, I forgot the name of it, but it's the world simulation where they're simulating every human being on Earth inside of the quantum computers, like D-Wave. D-Wave, what we see, and we'll be going to the internet and look at D-Wave, that's the old thing. That's the Model T of the quantum computers. They're already many orders of magnitude past that. They're accessing parallel dimensions and universes. And they're pulling through artificial intelligences that are merging with the one that's here, because the one that's here that they put together was a baby. And that baby gave them a way to create these quantum computers so that they could open portals and merge with themselves from alternate dimensions. There was no other way to get here but to build this universe, which is an artificial universe. Don't believe that Big Bang stuff and, 14 billion years and all that kind of stuff. They made this and you riding in a doggone hard drive someplace and you're stuck. And the only way is to hack the system. Now, many people think that what I'm talking is, immaterial. It's not real. It's crazy and things like that. Sit on this horse for another year or so. This stuff is moving so fast. You would not believe it, how fast it's moving. So we have a few things coming up next year. We have the Food of the Gods tour that will be coming up. We'll be going to Mexico into the mountains and ingesting in Mexico the thunder mushrooms, the mushrooms that are created when the thunder strikes in the mountains and creates landslides, and those mushrooms come up, the food of the gods. And we'll also be taking the toad, smoking the toad, or kissing the toad, whichever way you want to call it. For those folks who are looking for a prince or a princess, we're going to be kissing the toad. And that'll be coming up in the late spring, early summer, when the mushrooms are out, because there's a season to when they come. And when the thunder and lightning comes, the mushrooms will be there, and we're going to be sitting on the mountain, and we're going to move into some areas of knowledge and information that hasn't been seen for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The Olmec, Toltec, Aztec, Mayan information that they built that pyramid with in Mexico. That's what we're going to be talking about. And then we're going to deal with the toad. So that's going to be coming up late spring, early summer, in the time of the thunder mushrooms, or what they call the landslide mushrooms in Mexico. We have next year coming up the Detroit Entheogenic Conference, which is the off-the-chain urban mushroom conference that we want everybody to come out to and be part of, so that you can get the new information, the new areas of knowledge. We're going to have some wonderful speakers coming up. We'll have the second wave of transdimensional crystals coming out, and we'll have the Yiming Zhu crystals that are there. These are crystals that access through the maps that were downloaded into these room temperature quantum computers, the information of the ancestors that access tree information. In other words, being able to create a network through the trees, a network through the grass, a network through the rocks, because those are informational structures. Why you see in all those movies that when folks have their totems and things like that, they got acacia trees and pine trees and things like that, because trees are informational structures. They're woke, they sleep, they do work, and they also have a symbiotic, synergistic mycelial network that is paired with the plants that hooks into the greater mycelial network, which permeates all universes, and especially this one, because mycelium is embedded throughout the universe. They found that out, and that's why they call on the new Star Trek the guy who runs the informational structure, they call him Paul Stamets, after Paul Stamets, who is the mushroom magician, and why the superluminal stages of the engine run off of mushrooms and the mycelium paired with human consciousness for fast and light travel. That's how they beat the Klingons. If you haven't seen the new show, see it. The most important thing on it is that they utilize the mushroom mycelial network to be able to traverse the universe. So these type of things are happening. We have, like I said, the Detroit Psychedelic Conference coming up, and it's going to be off the hook. We want people to come from all over the world. They came from all over the world last time, but this time it's going to be much bigger. We're also asking for donations. It could be as little as $10, or euros or marks, or any of the other currencies. We'll also take Bitcoin and other things. This is to help us to be able to bring in our speakers, to house our speakers, to rent professional quality video equipment, because we haven't had that in the past, so that the information can be passed, because this is the time of information to be passed. So you can donate anonymously at kilindi@hotmail.com. If not, see me on Facebook, because I'm going to post a link to PayPal where you can donate. If you haven't donated, please do. We have 5,000 friends on Facebook. So we need those 5,000 people to donate. If everybody donates just $10, that would be great. Of the 5,000, you can of course donate more, 100,000. If you got an extra Bitcoin or two around, because that the Bitcoins are going up to 20,000 probably next week. There'll be more than 100,000 next week. And if you aren't in, you better get in. It's like the gold rush of the end of the 19th century, or the oil rush in the early part of the 20th century. Get in now before the government gets in, before Wall Street gets in, and all the herd gets in, and then suckers, and they drop the ball, and you're standing like in 1929 without anything. Get in, get it, secure it, hold on to it, and move forward with a little bit of financial wealth. They're making, you got 17-year-olds sitting in their mama's basement mining Bitcoins, becoming millionaires. And we sitting on the sideline, y'all buying lottery tickets. If you take that money you put in the lottery and just buy Litecoin or IOTA, you could take that same amount and not be throwing it to the state coffers where they said they're going to invest in education, when education was obsolete 100 years ago. Education you're talking about for your children was obsolete 100 years ago. People talking about we need to build a new school. You don't need to build a new school. You need to teach your children how to read, write, and count their cryptocurrencies, and then let them loose on the internet. Because that schooling stuff, that's gone. Because within 10 years, it's just going to be a download or a connection, a true connection to the internet interface between brain and internet through frequencies, where you know everything that's on the internet and you can access it immediately. So we need you to donate. We need you to donate to a cause that is worthy, because we're doing something. We're not just trying to build a new school or anything like that. We're moving towards taking us to the next level, because the way out of this is what? The way out of this is a forward escape out of the human consciousness. We don't want to be human no more. We want to be something greater. My heritage is African for the earth, but I am a multi-dimensional being that exists in multiple realities, in multiple universes, and that's what I'm pulling from. So you can't say I'm Irish or I'm African or whatever. You have to move first in thought into the multiverse, into the infraparticle realms. You're going to sit around and say, I'm from St. Louis. What that mean? I'm from Detroit. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from everywhere. And the possibilities from being everywhere are magnanimous, they're infinite, and they're awesome. So human is a bridge to the singularity of which we are in the middle of. We're not approaching a singularity. I guess I'm back because I got popped out some kind of way. But like I said, don't be shy. Donate to a worthy cause for the Detroit Psychedelic Conference and all of the things that we're doing. I guess I'm still on. Keep it coming. All of the things that we have looked at as far as being something greater than what we are now is right in front of us. We're in the middle of it. That's why it's so difficult. The things that we are to face and the things that we are facing are right in front of us. So get in, find your weapons, start dealing with multi-dimensional, trans-dimensional thought, and we will see our ancestors, our people, those that we love, right in front of us, with us. So thank you very much. Get in, help us to grow, because if you help us, you're helping everybody, because we're the ones that are taking it to the next level. Peace.